What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of The Chi. This is Season 7, Episode 6. Episode is titled, Do the Chi Thing. Y'all, let's get into it. Okay, so here's my thing about this show. I just feel like at this point, we just keep seeing random events happening around the city, and we keep putting random people together, and it's just not making sense, okay? Because at this point, we have had a Mother's Day episode, a Yacht Day episode. We've also had the baby shower episode. And now we've gotten to the heat wave episode, the power outage episode. I need for them to find something else. I'm telling you, the writing just ain't making sense right now. But I'm going to try to stick with it. So like I said, we have had a power outage, right? And it's super hot. And literally all we see is people sweating around the city. Okay? Here's my thing. There was a clip of Keisha and Emmett talking. And when I tell you, them kids are bad as hell. I'm sorry. It seems like they got kids, but they ain't being raised at all. How many times have we seen these kids break shit? How many times have we seen these kids bump into shit? I'm just like, how clumsy are y'all fucking kids? Like, tell them kids to go sit down somewhere. Okay? So, moving on from there, like I said, we get flashes of everybody in this heat. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. So, Darnell has a conversation with Emmett, right? Basically telling him, like, listen, look after your brother Damien, because that man has a gambling problem. He's had to go to rehab for it and everything. Like, here's the problem. He's betting on sports online, and now he has picked up this whole spades thing. But I'm just like, Darnell, if you know that your son has a gambling problem, why the fuck did you teach him how to play spades? Is that not a card game? Like, why did you not think that something would happen with that? And then also, when your son came to you and said, hey, you want to play in a spades tournament? Why didn't you have the conversation with him and be like, hey, for real, like, what's going on? How much are you trying to win in this tournament? Oh, so it sounds like you're back gambling. Darnell, y'all, as much as I like Darnell, he is a horrible fucking parent. He really is. The shit pisses me off. But nonetheless, moving on from there, we see Tiff, she has a conversation with Alicia. And Alicia is like, do you want to lose all of this? Because she's sitting in a house with a generator, living the best life. And she's like, no, why would you say that? And she's like, because why are you getting wet for Nuck? I said, whoa, Alicia, whoa. But Tiff is like, what are you talking about? And Alicia's like, I heard you having that conversation. We were talking to Tiff. And of course, Tiff is like, why are you spying on me? But Alicia is like, listen, I have a feeling that Nuck may have something to do with my son dying. So I can't have you hunching on him, okay? Find somebody else to hunch on. Actually, you shouldn't be hunching on nobody when you're carrying my son baby, okay? Now, y'all, I always wondered if Alicia thought that she got the right guy. But when she said, Nuck may have something to do with it, and maybe he, said Zay did it so that way he could spare his own life, I'm like, oh, okay, so Alicia is a lot more aware than I thought she was. However, this woman acts very impulsively, okay? So, basically, Alicia tells her to stay away from Nuck. Then we get a glimpse of Dom and Jamal. Yeah, I really can't take them serious. You know what I mean? Because their relationship is random as hell. Like, ooh, they found love in the barbecue shack. I guess. He has to make deliveries for Smokies. And I'm just like, deliveries? Why are we acting like Uber Eats and DoorDash don't exist? God damn. Moving on from there, we see Reg, and he has noticed that Jake is talking to an older woman. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing. Jake has mommy issues, so we're going to have him date all these older women. Reg tells him, oh, yeah, go ahead and invite her over. I'm trying to figure out what is the age gap between Reg and Jake at this point. Like, how old is Reg, for real? Like 30? And then Victor got to be over him, so he should be in his 30s as well. Like, what's the ages? But moving on, Damien, he ends up reaching out to Emmett, right? And he asked this man for some money. This is what threw me off. First of all, he asked him for 3 racks. You're asking your brother for $3,000 for what? Also, you said you do the books. I thought that the barbecue spot was in the red. So now they making money? What are we talking about? Like, how does Emmett conveniently have money just for you to go blow? Like, how are we not realizing that this man has a gambling problem? Like, the lack of awareness is crazy. Y'all, I am so pissed off that we got a glimpse of a random ass funeral of the guy that Nuck shot. I don't give a fuck about him. How do we not get a funeral for Rob? Like, make it make sense. Nuck, he over here sitting in the goddamn service, and when he talks to Pastor Zeke, he's like, I had to put that man in the ground because he put my life in danger. Okay, Nuck, we get it. You gotta be on a low profile. We get it. All right, so the next scene, we actually have Victor, Shad, and Darnell. They're hanging out outside under an umbrella. I'm like, again, random. So you have these random ladies there walking by, and the only one who's actually checking them out is Shad. Because at the end of the day, Darnell has Jada, and I'm not sure if Victor is really into the girls like that, or he's into the other girls. I'm not sure. That has never been clarified. But this is what's crazy. Victor is talking about how, he only has his imagination to use because the other guys are looking at women on social media. And I'm just like, so are you having imaginations and daydreaming about Tiff? Or are you looking at Tiff with some additional parts? Like, I'm just trying to be, I'm just trying to understand where his mind is. So Shad is like, he be sliding into DMs and stuff. And Darnell is like, but you have Alicia in that big castle. And here's the thing. According to Shad, the castle is getting crowded because of Tiff and because Alicia is so focused on her grandbaby. And I'm just like, nigga, you acting like it was Tiff and EJ, and EJ fucking shit up. Because one thing about EJ, he gonna tear some shit up. He gonna knock some shit over. That's just a part of his DNA. But it's just Tiff there. What are you talking about? So, at that point, why did Victor say that he would not mind waking up to Tiff? And then him and Darnell, they kind of like dapping each other up. Y'all, I'm completely disgusted. First of all, Darnell, that is your grandchild's mother. Don't do that shit. And as far as Victor goes, I was like, when have y'all ever checked out Tiff? Like, I'm sorry. I get it. She's a woman. She's beautiful. But y'all acting like y'all never was cool with Rob, the way a lot of y'all niggas is operating. And I don't like that shit. I'm disgusted. Moving on from there, we do have Jamal. He out here doing these deliveries. And at one point, it was some lady who she couldn't find her money. He's like, nah, you good. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I guess we're trying to show that there's been some growth with Jamal. Cool. We get back to Reg and Jake. This girl is over here. And basically, in this scene, we see that Reg is feeling some type of way because this girl is talking to his brother. She's older than him. And he's like, yeah, because, I taught him everything that he knows. Sir, please. You stopped being around Jake when he was, 10? If you don't shut the hell up, like, what the hell are you talking about? So, after that, Jake ends up getting up. And, of course, they order food from Smokey's. Y'all, we got to find another restaurant in Chicago. We have to. We cannot eat barbecue every goddamn day. While he goes to get the food, Reg is over there macking on this girl. I'm like, see, again, why is Reg back if this is how he gonna be? So then we see Papa. He's hanging out with Pastor Zeke and Charles. And they had some little family function that the church is throwing. And Charles, he comes up with the bright idea that they need to have dating seminars. Romantic prayers. No, was it romantic love with with prayers attached. I said, nigga, you so thirsty. Are you actually getting some action from these ladies? Because it's giving real thirsty right now. I'm a little confused as the way you operating, okay? So, after that, we see Shad. He's still over there complaining about him and Alicia. He feels like he wants them to be partners and he wants her to be more submissive. Could you get your money up first? Like, be so real about yourself. Like, Shad is such a bum, and I like the character, I do. He's funny, but he's such a bum, but wants everything. I'm like, that's not how that works. So Victor, he talks about, how he's back on the market, and Shad is like, oh yeah, they loving your chocolate ass. And again, my question is who is loving his chocolate ass? Like, is it like women who are like Tiff, or the girlies that are like Fatima? Like, which girlies are looking at him? Is he interested in both? Because at this point, we have never seen him be with a cisgendered woman. So I'm just like, can we get some clarification? I just want to know. But nonetheless, Darnell, he basically tells them to wrap it up so that way they won't have no babies. Y'all, again, I'm confused. I'm confusion because Shad is with a woman who can't have kids with her old ass. And considering the girls that Victor date, they can't have no kids either that way. So what are we telling them this for? This is like not information that they need. Also, them niggas is old. They should know better, okay? Now, y'all, we do see Detective Toussaint. She gets the word that Bakari, his vomit was at the crime scene. But of course, they ain't got no address on him, so now they gotta track him down. I said, here we go, Bakari, you in some shit. So, after that, y'all, we get back to Reg and this girl. They're making out on the couch. Jake is just staring at them from the other couch. So Jake is like, I'm about to leave. And Reg basically takes the girl into Jake's room. I'm like, Jake, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, why'd you bring that hoe over here? Secondly, when you saw her all up on your brother, like, you should have, number one, called her out and been like, girl, I thought you was with me. This nigga ain't got no money. Like, you know what I mean? But it just shows how much, when his brother comes around, when Jake is with Reg, how small Jake makes himself. Like, it's sad to watch. It really is. So Jake ends up telling Reg, like, yo, I've been talking to her for months. And Reg is like, okay, well, clearly she ain't worth it. If she about to, I'm about to hook up with her. And I'm just like, well, I mean, he ain't lying there. But it's so tragic to see how Jake's life is completely going to shit since he been around Reg. It ain't even been like a long time. Maybe a few months. Shit sad. Few weeks. Moving on from there, y'all, we see Damien. He is using the money that Emmett gave him to gamble in a spades game. Yeah, the same one that he asked his brother if he wants to be in the tournament. I'm over this situation. Also, the fact that his playing buddy is Hannibal. Like, I get y'all trying to put Hannibal in all these scenes, but be so for real. I do not see them two niggas being friends. Moving on, we see Detective Toussaint. She pulls up on Victor, and she asks him about his brother. He's like, what do you want with Jake? And she's like, no, I want the other one. She shows him the picture of these two idiots robbing the ATM. But of course, he plays it cool, and he doesn't identify them, but tells her to come back when she has real evidence. And I'm just like, how the fuck did Jake and, what's his name, Reg, not think that there was a camera there and that they could see them? Just dumb. Dumb to be dumb. Back over there with Emmett and Keisha, they're at this kids' party. Y'all, can we have an honest conversation about the actor who plays EJ? I really want him to slow down on the food and just get more active. This is no disrespect to him, but I just feel like he's very young and he's carrying a lot of weight. You know what I mean? And as a community, we have enough going on. You know what I mean? And obesity and overweight kids, unhealthy eating, that's just too much. Okay? Because I would never want a kid to come up with a lot of health problems as they're growing up. Let's try to prevent that. But back to the scene. EJ done fought some boy who the party it was for. He fought the birthday boy. I said, you know what? What is happening? Then out of nowhere, here comes another one of Emmett's kids. I don't know which one this is, but he came up with a jacked up haircut, talking about they was playing barbershop. I said, baby, these kids are too old for this shit. What is going on? So then we jump on over to the church folks. They over here hitting the electric slide. I said, now what Kirk Franklin song is playing that y'all doing the electric slide to? Out of nowhere, here comes the white girl, Sarah, and she's like, yeah, I'm at the church cookout with y'all. Charles and Zeke, they tell her, oh, baby, you can't be here. And the reason why they say she can't be there is because she's white. Y'all, I was over it. I was over that. And the reason why I say that is because black people are some of the most welcoming and inviting people that you will ever meet in your life. Okay? The fact that girl, she used to work at the church, which means that people saw her around, why would they be like, oh, she can't be here? They seen her before. Like, that don't even make sense. I don't know. I just thought that was whack. Moving on, we see Reg, and he is done smashing his girl. And when she leaves, he ends up punching Reg in the face. But here's the problem. Reg is a bit stronger than his brother. So Reg got a few more hits in. So Jake, he ends up running to the bathroom and locks himself in there. Here comes Victor, Captain Save him. And he's like, get out the bathroom right now. And he basically tells them, hey, I don't know what y'all got going on, but y'all need to stop robbing these ATMs. Like, that's not cool. And then Reg, he ends up, barking at Victor like he liked to do. And, Victor, he has to tell him, listen, I will kill you if you try to do this stuff again with Jake. So Jake, he ends up giving Reg the apartment. He's like, you can have this place. I'm about to go live with Reg. I'm about to go live with Victor. And Reg is like, oh, so y'all just gonna forget what mama said? Nigga, you can't even act right. Why would anybody want to be around you right now? Be so for real. So Sean, he meets up with Alicia. And basically he tells her that things aren't working out. And she's like, oh, I knew it wouldn't last. But you was fun. You was fun to be around. And he's like, well, can I still work for you? And she's like, yeah, because I need somebody to protect me because I can already tell that there's a war brewing. And I'm just like, yeah, a war that you keep wanting to start. Like, it's just crazy how Alicia is operating right now. And as far as her and Sean goes, I don't know what Sean's problem is. Like, Sean can be set up in a good situation and he's the one who fucks it up. Like when he was with Deja asked for the bare minimum from that nigga. And he still fucked it up by fucking somebody else. In this situation, he ain't really got to do shit with Alicia. All she asked him to do is pick her up on time. And here he go, trying to fuck it up again. I'm like, nigga, you the problem. Okay? So, Tiff and Victor, they over here eating food because when he was with his brother, she had texted him, oh, can you bring me some junk food? And I guess she ends up asking him about his shroom experience. And basically he had to tell her like, yeah, well, when I was on the shrooms, I was seeing the old Victor. I was seeing myself in the past. And I need to kill that version of myself, but I don't know how to operate without him. And she tells him like, you're such a good man. And they say how, they mean so much to each other. Then they almost kiss. Again, I'm annoyed. Like, Tiff, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're literally carrying somebody else's baby. Like, please stop. And all these niggas supposed to be cool with Rob. It doesn't even make sense. Like, that's just shit whack. It's just disgusting. Y'all, we see some kids, they want to go play in the streets, get wet with the fire hydrant, right? And they can't really get it to work right. So we do see Jamal, he goes over there and he like helps the kids out. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. He over here doing his, a few good deeds around the city, right? We see Pastor, he talks to Sarah. I don't care. Shad is talking to Keith. Again, here we go with these random ass people meeting up on this show. So basically they talk about seeing each other around when they were both in prison, but they both kind of kept to themselves. And Shad, he ends up asking Keith, like, oh, what you doing or whatever? And he's like, oh yeah, I got this little job at Smokey's. And Shad's like, oh yeah, that's my boy spot, right? So then in the reverse, when Keith asked Shad what he do, he said, oh yeah, I do security. Why did that man say for who? I said, for a fucking company. Like, what are you talking about? Do y'all not have security jobs in Chicago? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So then, of course, Shad is like, oh yeah, for this lady or whatever, she used to be my woman. And I'm just like, this was information that Keith did not need to know. Then we got Keith saying how he wants to give Tracy his last name. Nigga, y'all don't even go together for real. Nigga, you mopping floors at Smokey's. I know you ain't making no fucking money. What are we talking about right now? Then Shad ends up inviting Keith to the men's group. I guess you gotta recruit new members, okay? Back to Damien. This man was talking big shit to another gambler and lost all the damn money. He lost $6,000. Y'all, he just learned how to play 2 days ago. 2 days ago. What are we doing? Again, Damien's character can be so much more than this bullshit that they're giving us. And I'm not understanding how Hannibal didn't whoop his ass because he lost his portion of the money too. Nonetheless, we get this conversation between Jake and Reg. And he's like, why is Reg like this? And according to Victor, Reg used to pick fights with people. And basically, he became the bully. And now he does not know how to operate outside of being a bully. We learned that they were not close as kids because Victor was already in the streets hustling. And Jake, he's just like, man, I just want the family back together. But here's the thing, the family ain't never been together. It sounds like, if we want to be honest. And at this point, Victor, he just wants Jake to be himself and really not be around Reg because Reg is a horrible influence. We do see Detective Toussaint. She pulls up on Bakari and she's like, I get it. You don't want to talk, but I can reach out to Lene and maybe she'll talk. Of course, he don't want that, but he tells her that he wants her to leave him alone. And now, out of nowhere, she's like, I know it wasn't you that killed him. Was it Reg? Was it Reg that did all of this? First of all, that nigga don't even know Reg. You know what I'm saying? I mean, technically, he should know him because Bakari was supposedly around way, way back in the day. But, yeah. What are we doing right now? She ends up giving him her card. And I'm just like, girl, you cannot put all your money on Reg as the person who's the killer just because you can't stand his ass. Like, you got to use your thinker, baby. So, moving on from there, we have a lovey-dovey scene with Keisha and Emmett. I really don't care. Y'all, why is Bakari at Alicia's house late at night? That was my question. Nigga, go to Duck House, because that's where you're sleeping at. So basically, he tells her about the detective asking about her son's death and how the detective mentioned Reg's name. So now Alicia's like, well, who is this Reg person? Do you think he would have done it? And Bakari is like, he a killer. Now, Bakari, he ends up giving Alicia the address. Now, honestly, y'all, this kind of pissed me off because I'm like, damn, nigga, you about to give her Jake address, so that's supposed to be your boy. But then again, I feel like, hey, Jake pulled up on him with his brother, and that shit was disrespectful, so I guess all is fair, right? Y'all, we see Jamal, he's on the phone with Dom, and basically saying how, he can't wait to come home to her. I was like, oh, this shit about to go bad, real bad. He gets out the car. This man is still delivering food. I said, nigga, go home. Please. He's delivering food to Reg, right? Reg comes out. He's like paying him the money for it. And Alicia's watching the whole time. Keep in mind, what's her man? Shot. He's the driver. Y'all. Alicia pulls a gun out the fucking glove compartment, starts firing. She only skinned Reg on the side of the arm. However, she killed Jamal. I said, well, girl, if you gonna shoot the nigga, make sure you shoot the right nigga. Come on now. You talking about you want to kill all the killers, but now you doing the same thing as them. Make that make sense, girl. Y'all, I don't know where we going with this show, but I'm going to try my best to stay in there. Y'all, I don't know how the hell they're going to do something for a season 8. I don't get it. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.